There is a phrase you probably heard 1,000 times without ever really thinking about it. Intel Inside. For decades, those two words were a promise. A little sticker on almost every computer that mattered, telling you that inside this machine was the beating heart of the digital age, built by the most powerful chipmaker the world had ever seen. Intel didn't just make computer chips. For a long stretch of history, Intel essentially was the computer industry. It was one of the most valuable companies on the planet. Now here's where that story is today. In 2024, Intel's stock collapsed by around 60% in a single year. It posted the biggest loss in its 56-year history, a staggering $16.5 billion in a single quarter. It announced it was laying off tens of thousands of workers. Its stock was kicked out of the Dow Jones Industrial Average and replaced by a company called Nvidia. And the government of the United States stepped in with billions of dollars, terrified that this national champion might not survive on its own. This is the story of how the company that powered the modern world lost its grip on the future, how it turned down the iPhone, fell behind in the one thing it was supposed to be best at, slept through the biggest technology boom in a generation, and had to be rescued by the very government that once relied on it. This isn't the tale of a company that failed overnight. It's the tale of a giant that was so dominant for so long that it stopped being able to see the future coming. If you enjoy these rise and fall stories, take a second to subscribe and hit like. It genuinely helps this channel dig up more of them. Now let's go back to how Intel conquered the world in the first place. It comes in three parts. The empire that built the brain of every computer, the three fatal moments it saw the future and turned away, and the collapse that ended its reign. Intel was founded in 1968 in California by a group of brilliant engineers, including Gordon Moore, the man behind the famous Moore's Law, the observation that computing power roughly doubles about every 2 years. That idea became the drumbeat of the entire technology industry, and for decades, Intel was the company that kept the beat. Intel's genius was in the microprocessor, the central brain chip that runs a computer. In the 1980s and 90s, Intel's processors, built on an architecture called x86, became the standard for the personal computer revolution. When PCs exploded into offices and homes around the world, the overwhelming majority of them ran on Intel. And Intel did something else brilliant. With its Intel Inside marketing campaign, it turned an invisible component buried inside a beige box into a household brand. People who had no idea what a processor did still knew they wanted Intel Inside. And here is the crucial thing that made Intel special, the thing that made it a true titan, and the thing whose loss would eventually destroy it. Intel was what's called an integrated device manufacturer. That means Intel didn't just design its chips, it also manufactured them in its own enormous, unimaginably expensive factories called fabs. For decades, Intel had the best chip designs and the best chip manufacturing in the world, under one roof. It was the undisputed leader on both fronts. This combination made it nearly untouchable. Competitors might beat it on one thing, but nobody could beat it on both. Through the 1990s and 2000s, Intel dominated. It provided the processors for the vast majority of the world's PCs and, crucially, for the data centers, the giant server farms that run the internet. At its peak, Intel supplied something like 90% of the chips inside the world's data center computers. It was one of the most valuable and important companies in existence. It seemed permanent, like the foundations of the digital world itself. And that is exactly the moment the story turns. Because Intel was about to be offered the future 3 separate times, and 3 separate times it would say no, or move too slowly, or look the other way. Let's take them one at a time. The first missed future was the most famous, and in hindsight the most staggering. In the mid-2000s, Apple was building a revolutionary new device, a phone that was really a pocket computer. And Apple came to Intel and asked it to make the main chip for this new gadget. This was the iPhone, and Intel said no. Why? Intel's leadership, by later accounts, looked at the price Apple was willing to pay and the volume they projected, and decided it just wasn't worth it. The margins looked too thin. The whole thing seemed like a distraction from the profitable business of making big, powerful chips for PCs and servers. It was a decision that made perfect sense on a spreadsheet, and it was one of the most catastrophic strategic mistakes in the history of business. Because the iPhone didn't just become a product. It launched the smartphone era, a market of billions upon billions of chips. And Intel had handed that entire future to someone else. The mobile revolution, arguably the biggest computing shift of the century, happened almost entirely without Intel. Companies like Qualcomm and Apple itself built the chips that went into the devices in everyone's pockets. Intel had been the king of the computer, and it slept through the moment the computer moved into everyone's hand. That was the first warning. Intel was so committed to protecting its rich, profitable PC and server empire that it couldn't bring itself to chase a future that looked, at first, less profitable. Keep that pattern in mind because it's about to repeat, and the next time, it strikes at the very core of what made Intel great. The second missed future was manufacturing, and this one is the deepest wound, because manufacturing was supposed to be Intel's crown jewel. For decades, Intel's factories were the most advanced on Earth. But making chips is a brutal race. Every couple of years, you have to shrink the transistors, cramming more of them onto a chip to make it faster and more efficient. Each shrink is called a node, and staying ahead on nodes was Intel's superpower. Then, around 2016, Intel hit a wall. It tried to move to a new, smaller manufacturing process, its 10-nanometer node, and it got greedy with the design, attempting an aggressive leap that turned out to be fiendishly difficult to actually build. The yields were terrible. The technology took years to fix. Intel was stuck, unable to move forward, its manufacturing frozen while the clock kept ticking. And while Intel was stuck, a company on the other side of the world was executing flawlessly. Its name was TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. TSMC had a completely different model. It didn't design its own chips to sell. It was a foundry, a pure manufacturer that built chips designed by other companies. And while Intel stumbled on 10 nanometers, TSMC marched ahead, node after node, on schedule. It pulled ahead of Intel in the one area Intel had always led, making the most advanced chips in the world. The crown jewel had been stolen. For the first time in its history, Intel was no longer the best chip maker on the planet, and the company that beat it didn't even design chips. This had a devastating knock-on effect, and here's where a longtime rival comes back to haunt Intel. Intel's great competitor in processors, a company called AMD, had spent years as the scrappy underdog, usually a step behind. But AMD had made a fateful decision. It had spun off its own factories and become a pure design company, which meant AMD could simply hire the best manufacturer in the world, TSMC, to build its chips. So while Intel was trapped with its own stalled factories, AMD designed excellent new processors and had TSMC build them on cutting-edge nodes. Suddenly, the underdog had better technology, and AMD began eating into Intel's market share in exactly the high-margin PC and data center businesses that were Intel's heartland. AMD grew from under 10% of the CPU market to over 30%. The empire was being invaded from within its own kingdom. And then, in 2019, came a symbolic blow that captured everything. Apple, the same Apple that Intel snubbed on the iPhone, announced it was dumping Intel chips from its Mac computers entirely and switching to its own in-house designs, built by TSMC. Those new Apple chips were faster and more power efficient than the Intel chips they replaced. One of Intel's most prestigious customers had looked at Intel's technology, decided it could do better itself, and walked away. The message to the whole industry was unmistakable. Intel was no longer the leader. Which brings us to the third missed future, and it's the one that turned a slow decline into a collapse: artificial intelligence. The AI boom that exploded in the early 2020s runs on a very specific kind of chip. Not the traditional central processors that were Intel's specialty, but a different type called a GPU, originally designed for video game graphics, but which turned out to be perfect for the massive parallel calculations that train AI models. And the company that had spent years quietly dominating GPUs was Nvidia. When AI erupted, the entire world suddenly needed Nvidia's chips in almost unlimited quantities to build the data centers powering the AI revolution. Nvidia's value exploded past $1 trillion, then kept climbing, becoming one of the most valuable companies in the history of the world. And Intel? Intel had almost no answer. It had been so focused on its traditional processor business that it had failed to build a serious competitor in the GPUs and AI accelerators that were now the most valuable products in technology. The single biggest gold rush in modern tech history was underway, and Intel, the company that had powered every previous computing wave, was standing on the sidelines watching Nvidia get rich. So now stack up all three. Intel missed mobile. Intel lost its manufacturing lead. Intel slept through AI. 3 futures, 3 failures. And the results, when they finally hit the financial statements, were brutal. In 2021, Intel had brought back a company veteran named Pat Gelsinger as CEO. Hailed as a savior, Gelsinger had a bold, expensive plan: pour tens of billions of dollars into building new factories in Arizona, Ohio, and elsewhere, and race to regain manufacturing leadership with an ambitious goal he called 5 nodes in 4 years. He also bet the company's future on a dramatic new idea, turning Intel into a foundry, like TSMC, manufacturing chips for other companies, not just itself. It was a genuinely bold vision, but it required spending colossal amounts of money at exactly the moment Intel's core business, the thing that generated the cash, was shrinking under pressure from AMD and the loss of customers like Apple. Intel was trying to fund a hugely expensive turnaround with a wallet that was getting thinner every year. The math was punishing, and the foundry business, instead of bringing in money, was bleeding it, losing billions while struggling to attract major customers, partly because rivals were reluctant to trust their secret designs to a company that also competed with them. By late 2024, it all came crashing down. Intel reported that $16.5 billion quarterly loss, the worst in its history. It announced around 16,000 layoffs, later swelling to tens of thousands. It suspended its dividend, a payment to shareholders it had made for decades. Its stock cratered. Its market value, which at the turn of the millennium had made it one of the most valuable companies on Earth, had fallen by roughly 80% from its peak. And in November 2024, in a moment of pure symbolism, Intel was removed from the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the index of America's most important companies, and its spot was taken by Nvidia. The old king was quite literally replaced by the new one. Weeks later, Gelsinger was pushed out, his turnaround unfinished. And then came the part that would have been unthinkable in Intel's glory days. This company, once so dominant it defined an industry, became something the United States government felt it had to rescue, because Intel was, and is, essentially the only company still trying to manufacture the most advanced chips on American soil, with almost all cutting-edge chip production concentrated at TSMC in Taiwan, an island under constant geopolitical threat. Washington decided that letting Intel fail was a national security risk. Through the CHIPS Act, the government committed billions of dollars in funding and loans to keep Intel's factories alive. The company that once stood as the towering symbol of American technological supremacy now needed a government lifeline just to stay in the game. So let's count what happened to the empire that put Intel inside on the world. The mobile revolution missed entirely. The manufacturing crown lost to TSMC. The AI boom handed to Nvidia. Tens of thousands of jobs gone. Roughly 80% of its peak value vanished. Its place among America's elite companies taken by the very rival that beat it, and its independence propped up by government money. Here is the lesson buried in it, and it's one this channel finds again and again. Intel didn't collapse because it was stupid, or lazy, or run by fools. It collapsed because it was too successful for too long. Its PC and server empire was so profitable that every time the future showed up wearing unfamiliar clothes, a cheap phone chip, a rival's foundry, a graphics card for AI, Intel looked at its glorious, high-margin present and decided to protect it rather than chase the uncertain new thing. Its dominance became a cage. The very success that made it a titan made it unable to imagine a world where it wasn't already winning. So let's go back to that little sticker, Intel Inside. For a generation, it was a promise that you were holding the best technology in the world. Intel earned that reputation through decades of genuine brilliance, designing and building the brains of the computer age better than anyone alive. Its successors inherited that reputation, the most valuable thing the company owned, and spent years defending the past instead of building the future, until the future arrived without them. Intel is not dead. It still has deep talent, real factories, a storied brand, and a government determined to keep it breathing. It may yet claw its way back, but the era when Intel simply was the future of computing, that era is over, and it ended not with a single disaster, but with a giant that saw tomorrow coming 3 times, and 3 times chose yesterday. Because here's the truth, this channel keeps digging up. The most dangerous thing an empire can own is a present too profitable to give up. If you made it this far, subscribe and hit that like button. There are plenty more empires built and buried, and we dig up a new one every time. Thank you for watching.